So we've previously calculated how far you drive per day. So, for instance, if we looked at my example, PQ to Santee every day, round trip, that's about 37 miles, one way about 28 minutes. Sometimes I hit a little bit of traffic. Here's my totals. And this is probably how most people think of their commutes on a day to day basis. And even not even a day to day. Mostly it's just a trip by trip basis. And that's probably why a lot of people justify how far they drive, how much time they spend in their car. But when you start to think about that and the cumulative impact of what that means, the mileage and the cost really starts to add up. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's take a look at the miles. So the number of miles, just the pure number of miles that you spend driving over a period of time as a result of your commute. So here's our averages. The average work week, of course, is 5 days, Monday through Friday. In a month, on average, you work about 22 days of each month. Per year, that's 251. So if you subtract weekends and holidays and vacation time, things like that. And then, of course, if you take that number, multiply by 5 years, by 10 years, and your standard career of 30 years, that's what you get, about 7,530 days. Now, I understand that not many people live in the same neighborhood and work in the same neighborhood for a full 30 years. Normally that changes, but that's a variable that we're not going to take into account. We're just going to leave and just assume everything stays fixed over the course of that 30-year career, that standard career. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So to calculate number of miles per week, it's a pretty simple formula. Go equals sum, close parentheses, number of days, shift 8 for the asterisk, that means multiply, by 37 miles round trip, close, and I get 189 miles per week that I drive. I can do the same for the month. It's the same exact formula, equals sum, 22 days multiplied by 37.8 miles a day, and you get it. So we can keep going with that same formula. It's pretty standard, but let's do the last one just for dramatic effect. So let's assume that I live in PQ and teach in Santee for the next 30 years, or over the course of 30 years. Let's see how many miles I will drive. Multiplied by 37.8 miles a day. And that's 28,000. Oh, forgive me, 284,000 miles. So goodness. So let me see here. 284,000 miles. So if I divide, let's just do this off to the side just for reference. So take this and divide by the circumference of the Earth is about 24,000 miles. So over the course of my career, I could drive around the Earth 11 times, almost 12 times. I would be able to circle the Earth in how much mileage I'll put on my car just driving to and from work every day. So that's what I'm saying, is those things where on a trip by trip or day by day basis, it's no big deal. But when you start thinking about what that means over the course of an entire career, that's when the numbers start adding up and really make people second guess exactly how far they want to be driving on a day-to-day basis.